guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing an indie mermaid book haul. Okay, so this year for Mermaid Marathon, which is my next readathon, all themed around mermaids and pirates and seafaring books. I will link the announcement up in the cards as well as down below in the description. I do a giveaway for every readathon that I host, and for Mermaid Marathon, because it is the biggest of the readathons, it is the biggest of the giveaways. The readathon is going to be running July 7th through the 20th. I originally said it wrong, but we are still doing the 2-week readathon. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because the giveaway is going to be hosted over there. There will be 2 giveaways per week. One that is a bigger giveaway that has a combination of gently used books, some new books and arcs, and some mermaid and pirate themed goodies. And then the second giveaway per week will be books only. But I put out the siren call, and a bunch of indie and a couple of non-indie book authors sent me a bunch of books for the giveaway. So much so that I've been doing sneak peeks on Instagram. But we're going to go over all the books that are going to be in the giveaway today. Most of them are indie books. There's a couple that aren't. And then at the end, we're going to be going over some indie books that I have hauled recently for my own personal shelf. To enter the giveaway, you basically complete in some Instagram photo challenges. All the information for how to enter and win the giveaway will be on my Instagram when the readathon starts. This is going to be US only just because shipping is too high. But we are going to dive into these books. I'm not going to read the entire synopsis of every book just because we have a lot to get through. I think I have only read 1 or 2 of these, so I will put out a warning. Please do your research, because some of these books are incredibly spicy. A couple of them have some trigger warnings you might want to be aware of. There's a combination of young adult and adult. Whoever the giveaway winners are, I will give them a little bit more info on what the content of the books are. I'm not personally a big spicy book reader, but I know a lot of you guys are, so I wanted to include some of those books in the giveaway as well. So if you're interested in checking any of these books out, just make sure that you really look into them. I will link the Amazon links or wherever you can find them down below in the description. I will put the author's handle here. Please go follow any of these authors that the books are interesting to you and give them a little bit of love. A big thank you for sending in all of this stuff for the giveaway. We're going to dive in. We have 2 non-book related items that I wanted to talk about that were sent to me for the giveaway and I'm very excited about. Alright, so we have some tea. I actually found Morbid Curiosity on Instagram. I found their Etsy shop because they had Mermaid on a tea bag and I thought it would be fun just to get for myself for the readathon, and then I wound up falling in love with not only the packaging, but the tea itself is like such a good price and so delightful. So they sent me Voodoo Pancake, buttery and bewitching. They do all of their own like pictures and photo shoots for the tea. It's so good. Really good for spooky season too. This one is honeybush tea with blueberry, maple, rose hips, vanilla, apple, cornflower, and mischief. What I really like about this tea as well, I am not huge on having a lot of artificial flavorings, and this is very flavorful with some really like healthy ingredients. All the teas are so delicious. So this will be in the first giveaway of the first week. Then my sweet friend on Instagram, the Crochet and Clay Cat, please go check out her account. She sent me these beautiful seashell earrings. These are all handmade by her in Texas. I've gotten a few of her earrings. Jeff gets me some for like my birthday and stuff like that. She is so sweet to send me something for the giveaway because she is a small business, so I appreciate her so much. Her quality is really good. I'll link her Etsy shop down below so you can go and send her some love. These will also be in the first giveaway of the first week. So now we're going to dive in, pun intended, into all of these indie books. We're going to go over the ones that I have for the giveaway first. Again, all of these will be in the giveaway, but each winner is going to receive like 3 or 4 of them on top of mermaid, pirate, island themed used books that I have found like while thrifting and hunting and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a large giveaway, but even if you're not interested in that, these are some great books to put on your summer TBR. Okay, the first 2 I have read, and we have The Glass Mermaid by Melanie Karsak. This is just a short little mermaid novella. I absolutely love Melanie. She's one of my favorite indie authors. On the shores of Lake Erie, I spend my final days hunting for beach glass, making jewelry, and waiting for my mermaid glamour to leave me. Then it will be over. I resign myself to the fact that there is nothing more for me until I see Cooper. We have a little mermaid romance in here. I thought this one was really cute. It's such a good one because it's so short as well. Noel. I really enjoy Melanie's books. We have The Maiden Ship. I already talked about this in my regular mermaid book haul that I will link up in the cards in case you guys didn't check it out. All the books that I got while thrifting and hunting over the past year. This is one of my favorite seafaring trilogies. This is by Michelle Reichman over at Whimsical Publishing. She has her own publishing company with very like sweet, magical, adventurous YA books. I know that under her publishing none of the books are spicy because they're all like young adult. Extra on the whimsy and the magic. This is the first one in a series and we're following Dane Alloway. He was only 9 years old when he began a new life with his father sailing aboard the Maiden. 8 years later, the aristocrat city boy turned merchant sailor feels like he lives with one foot on the land and one foot in the sea. Life floats smoothly by until the night he wakes to find a mysterious woman in his cabin. So this one is not super mermaid centered, but there is a mermaid in here and we're on a ship and we're in the ocean and it's very magical. There's a little romance. It's really sweet. I really enjoyed this entire trilogy. Secrets of the Deep by Marissa Noel. This is part of the Mermaid's Chronicles Book 1. Cordelia Blue is afraid of the water. Cordelia is also a mermaid. Determined to face her fear, Cordelia enters the ocean for the first time since her twin brother was killed and learns she is the oldest bloodline of mermaid. Entrusted with a magical relic, it's up to her alone to break an ancient curse and free the mermaids from under the water. Sounds amazing. Super excited for this one because the cover is so stunning, but also the author did some sprayed edges, which is so cool. They did such a good job. So this is A Wrecking of Salt and Fire by E.K. Kondos. Plagued by fear, haunted by the sins of her past, approaching 25, Katrin Dracos should only be concerned with two things: being crowned queen of Atlantis and marrying her fated Cole. For 5 years, she focuses on falling in love, on living, and becoming whole again. For 5 years, she has been able to forget that the vile King Nicholas of Naxos had done to her. For 5 years, her nightmares did not return. Sounds cool. This one's probably going to be a little bit on the darker side. Ink's Grace, a Setian romance. Now, I don't think there are mermaids in this one. I am pretty sure it's like shark shapeshifter romance, but it was ocean themed, so it works perfect. This is by Regina Sage. Davina knows not all scars are created equal. There are no rules for healing. That each journey has highs and lows, just like any life-giving ocean. She cannot shake the idea of health she imposes on herself. Her life and body have been marked by tragedy from before she was even born to her most recent trials in flesh trade with the witches. Now she is locked up in a war between her passionate desire and her aversion to touch, but something must break. Super cool. The Rise of Amphitrite, a Trident Trilogy Book 1 by Savannah L. Zare. Amy, short for Amethyst, has had her life planned out for her since before she could walk. Excel at cello, fencing and academics, attend Oxford early, and take her father's law firm after her 20th birthday. She has never had much free time for friends, aside from Percy, the boy who washed up on shore in front of her as a child and hasn't been far from her since. Percy teaches her about mythology, and sometimes it feels like they've known each other much longer than a few years. Probably going to be like Poseidon mythology in here. It looks like it's going to be new adult as well. Speak the Ocean by Rebecca Enzor. When the mermaid performers at the Oceanic Marine Park turn violent and attack their handlers, it's Finn Jarvis's job to euthanize them. The work is dangerous and he botches his latest assignment, causing the death of 2 additional and expensive mer. His dream of becoming a superstar trainer seems lost until a newly caught mermaid offers him the opportunity to prove himself. Erie isn't just a mermaid, she's an ocean princess that has been ripped from her home. She doesn't know what the land folk want from her, but she is determined to learn air words and find out. Alone and voiceless, she watches as the other merfolk are broken into submission, but Erie refuses to be subjugated. To avoid the fate of Oceanic's other mer and eventually make it home, she needs to make the crowds love her as something more than entertainment. This one sounds super unique. We have Dark Tides by J.J. Marshall. This is a sweet, sweet friend of mine. I have read this one, really enjoyed it. It is an adult Little Mermaid retelling. This is book 1 of the Wicked Fairy Tale series. With the unexpected death of the Siren King, Princess Serena finds herself next in line for the Adrenaline Crystal Throne. But with the new ruler comes a new agenda. Betrothal to the Land King's son was not what Serena had envisioned for herself, and now she must find a way to live without her vicious instincts. Serena faces love and death, heartache and ruin, and when a scorned Marquess finds out that Serena has been betrothed to the prince, she stops at nothing to take down the Siren, even if it means taking her voice. I also really love this cover. We have Ocean Song by C.W. Rose, one of my favorite covers. Fish are mysteriously disappearing, starving the people in Angie Song's Alaskan hometown. Angie, a snarky, guarded, aspiring marine biologist and dock worker, enthusiastically join the hunt to find out where the fish are gathering. When her family and the villagers discover that merfolk are responsible, they vow to destroy every last one. In the midst of the conflict, Angie faces off with a merman and fails to pull the trigger. So, that sounds very cool. Sunset by the Sea by Giselle Brazella. Rose McKenzie is no stranger to running. After the death of her father threatens to bring her back under her mother's control permanently, Rose flees again. This time it's to the only sanctuary she's ever known, a tiny island called Nora. The longer she stays in Nora, the more Rose realizes the island she knew has changed. Families are leaving in droves and strangers are taking their places. Strangers that don't seem quite human. Really cool. The Kiss That Killed Me by Christy Nicole. This is a bigger one for those of you that like the chunkier book. He has waited 500 years to find her. She has no idea her fate comes with Finn. When Callie Pierce meets her soulmate on a beach in San Diego, she cannot possibly fathom the ways in which her life is about to change. Orion, a man who's been searching for her for over 5 centuries, is not entirely what he seems. As things between them grow more intense, the unthinkable happens, and Callie is thrown fin first into a world beyond her wildest imaginings. Super neat. A Tide of Treason by A.B. Daniels, Anachi. Dorian's greatest ambition is to sail the open seas. His dream has overtaken his days, and the closer his ascension to the throne looms, the further into harbor his heart swims. When a hybrid sea creature is spotted, his father makes him an offer that is too tempting to refuse, one that could change the course of his destiny. Also, we have another really pretty one. This is Storm and Sea by Teresa Kane. Also with some really cool sprayed edges. The back is really cool as well. So Atreus has carved out a quiet, stable life among the humans on the island of Baya Vita, earning their respect while hiding a dangerous truth. He is Mer. Exiled by his own people for the color of his scales, he has learned to navigate life as an outsider, finding solace in the rhythms of the fishing village. But his fragile peace is shattered when Niall, a naive and determined runaway Mer, fleeing the suffocating traditions of his home, lands on the island. Super cool. So there will be some merman, boys in here, which is a little bit more unique. My sweet friend Kay sent me the first 2 in her series. I believe the second one is new for this year, of Seafoam and Saltwater, the Pasea Chronicles, and of Magic and Moonlight. I know that these are young adults, so I think they're going to be on the less spicy side. The sea has always called to Kari, like a lullaby that only she can hear. She has been drawn to the water's edge for as long as she can remember. Yet fear holds her back from stepping into the sea, until she decides she needs answers that only the sea can provide. When her memories return, Kari finds herself in the midst of a far more complicated world than she ever imagined. Her family, the royalty of the kingdom of Pasea, are being held prisoner by the Mad King Varan, a power-hungry merman bent on conquering the 5 merfolk kingdoms. Super cute. We have Duet with the Siren Duke, a Married to Magic novel by Elise Kova. Elise is also one of my favorite indie authors. She's actually gotten recently picked up, and so all of her books are going to get makeovers and be traditionally published. So I've made sure myself to get copies of all of her Married to Magic books because they are so beautiful, especially the hardcovers. They have all these cool naked books underneath of them. This again is part of a series. You technically can read them separately because they all follow different characters, and each one is a loose mashup retelling of 2 different fairy tales or myths. This one is a mashup of The Little Mermaid and Orpheus and Eurydice. I could be saying that totally wrong. However, I will warn you that all these books are set in the same world, and I do know there are little things that tie them together. So if you're like a big series person like I am, I would still read them in order. This is the 4th book. I have not gotten to it yet. I heard it's going to be incredible. Victoria risks everything to leave a dangerous marriage and gain a second chance at life. But when her escape goes awry, she finds herself caught in the strong embrace of a mysterious siren. She is forced to choose temporary salvation or immediate death. And so a cursed deal is struck. 5 years later, Victoria is alive and the world's finest ship captain, but her debt to the siren looms while her conniving ex has demanded a king's ransom as the final price of her freedom. Victoria refuses to cause her family to suffer any more on her behalf and is determined to make things right before her time is up, but that time is cut short. Ugh, sounds so good. All right, we have 2 traditionally published books that I wanted to share because they were sent to me for the giveaway, which is awesome. We have The Mermaid's Tale by L.E. Richmond. I do know this one is YA and no spice. In case you're curious, it's part of a duology. I have a friend that's read it and said it was fabulous. Lachlan Adair has never fit in. The legs she inherited as a result of her great-great-grandmother's curse make it impossible for her to belong under the sea. When her niece is also born without a tail, Lachlan is determined to save her from similar rejection by sending her to the only place in the undersea realm where legs are acceptable, the lost island of Atlantis. So I think this one's going to be set under the water for the majority of it. It's supposed to be a solid Little Mermaid retelling as well. Sounds very cool. This one I'm super excited about, The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. She sent me one of her arcs for the giveaway. This is a new release for 2025. I did just share a mermaid pirate nautical new releases for 2025 video that you guys should go check out because we got so many really awesome like new releases for this year, all perfect for summertime. So a nautical archaeologist searches for sunken treasure, unearths a centuries-old curse, powerful witchcraft, and perilous love. So sounds super cool. I plan on reading this one for the readathon. And then lastly, we're going to go over some indie books that I have hauled. Either myself or friends sent them to me off my wish list for like my birthday or other different reasons. I have a little stack here. So we have The Siren's Mutiny by Jessica S. Taylor, special edition, I think, that has this beautiful mermaid on the cover. Bridget knew the superstition, but when her father tried to marry her off, she had no choice but to stow away on a ship bound for Bodice. When she is discovered and discarded, her fate seems sealed until she's saved by the ocean and its queen. Transformed into a siren and given new life, Bridget now has the power to seek revenge on those who've wronged her. Super, super cool. I had a sweet friend send me this one, When Oceans Rise by Robin Alvarez. I believe she put a book in for the giveaway last year as well. So this is a Little Mermaid retelling, but she is not a mermaid. So just kind of keep that in mind. Submerged in a toxic relationship, disconnected from everyone, she turns to the sea to decide her fate. Its decision is to toss her to the sea witch. 17-year-old Malaya is cursed. In her family, every girl's first love ends in death after falling for someone evil. Good thing Malaya's dream guy isn't monstrous. So there might be like a sea witch in here, but I've heard like there are no mermaids, so we'll have to see. Ocean Heart by Ali Aldridge. This is by a sweet friend of mine. She sent one of the books for last year's mermaid giveaway. So high school teen Mariah's life is anything but simple. Between a crush on her best friend and a rivalry brewing with the swim team star, her powers awaken early. When Mariah's guardian meddles in her life with magic, she causes more harm than good. The Soul Reapers are coming and there's a werewolf hungry for merblood. All secrets wash ashore sooner or later and Mariah is about to discover hers. So a werewolf and a mermaid sounds very fun. I do know that this one is young adult and should be on the not spicy side as well. The Harvest by Katie Benson. I've heard really good things about this one from a friend of mine. I believe, again, it's young adult and not spicy. Iris never expected to live her life trapped on land, nor was she prepared for what she would find there. A siren isn't supposed to fall in love with her prey. When Jace moved to Santa Cruz, he never imagined he'd risk his life to protect a monster. He soon finds that ancient myth has become reality and not every pretty face is what it seems. Super cool. Another sweet friend of mine sent me this one, although we haven't read it, but this is such a pretty book. So we have The Veiled Heir by S.T. Fernandez. What I love about this book is like every chapter header looks like it's underwater and it is so neat. So, heir to the Fae throne she didn't know was hers, a daunting task to save humanity, a passionate love nurtured through her grief. As Shara Del Mar led a happy and quiet life, her career as a marine biologist was about to take off, but her mother, Nelia's sudden murder stopped her life harshly in its tracks. When she discovers her mother's true identity, the world she knew begins to unravel. Very neat. And lastly, one that I purchased for myself because when I saw someone post about it, I was like, I need that. So this is Girls of Salton Sea by Natalie Macias Lucia. I got this one purely because look at this naked cover. So beautiful. Dust Jack is beautiful as well. Don't go back to Halcyon Bay. 24-year-old Del Costa knows nothing of the island where she was born, nor of the distant family that calls it home. For years, she has lived a world away from Halcyon Bay, fiercely protected from the secrets of her past. But when Del receives notice that her estranged grandmother has died and her mother falls into a sudden downward spiral, she's determined to figure out why. Returning to the island one stormy night, Del resides at her grandparents' seaside estate over a long weekend of funeral proceedings, learning of her family's tragic history and the strange local folklore concerning drowned girls. So I'm not sure if there's mermaids in here, but I'm assuming there will be something like that, and it is set on an island. Okay, you guys, hit me up with some kind of ocean themed emoji if you made it this far. Let me know which of these books sound good to you. Don't forget to follow some of these authors for any of the books you're interested in on Instagram and send them lots of love. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as I share so much other mermaid, summer, and book content as well. I will link all of the information for Mermaid Marathon, all of my other mermaid seafaring book videos. There are so many down below in the description. Let me know some other indie mermaid books that you love that I may enjoy as well, and I will see you guys next time on the bright side.